up, though? This your boy Beezy. You're watching Beezy Review Beats. Today I'm going to be talking about Willie B, Ichiban Sound in HD. Familiar with Willie B? He's a TDE producer, in-house producer, also one-fourth of the Digiphonics producing crew with Soundwave, Tay Beast, Dave Free. I think I'm saying that right, and then Willie B, of course. If you know Willie B, if you've been following TD Camp for a while, he produced Ignorance is Bliss on Kendrick's Overly Dedicated, Black Lip Bastard Remix, which is one of my favorite joints off that Absol control system. J Rocky produced the joints off of Follow Me Home, Schoolboy Q Designer Clothes, Rigor Mortis. I think that one really put him on the map, like mainstream wise, getting people to realize, like, damn, that producer was dope as hell. I even recognized, like, damn, that put me on the map for Willie B was that joint. And it's interesting because Willie B did a I would say a new rules approach to releasing a beat tape. He released this via Instagram, because if you're familiar with now Instagram giving you the video feature on there where you can post, a video anywhere between, I think, 10 to 20 seconds. And he posted this beat tape on Instagram first, which I thought was pretty interesting, I guess a clever way to market the beat tape to get people ready for it. Then he released it, I think, like a few days later as a full MP3. You can download it for free off Ichiban.com, which I'm gonna put on the description where you can check out this beat tape. Like I said, it's a follow-up from his Ichiban Sound in 3D, which he released last year, which was actually one of my top 10, maybe like top 5 favorite instrumentals of 2012. And this project, man, I thought this was good. This gives you a whole different. This is probably the thing I don't like about it is that it was only 14 minutes. It's 9 tracks, total of 14 minutes. This is probably like the quickest and most wonderful music you can hear in 14 minutes, man. It's beats. It's a good collection of beats. It's like a good roller coaster, man. He takes you up and down through the emotions and show his producing skills, sampling skills, and everything else, man. This starts off with a Mary Jizzle, which is a dun, 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 dun. I don't know that sample that he's sampling on there, but it starts off with the instrumental on there, the sequencing on there. Then it gets into the drums. One thing I always love about Willie B, man, is that I know I say this a lot, man. It's just the drums, man. The drums got to get you, man. And I think this project, Mary Jizzle starts it off well. This whole project, he got like a lot of low energy beats on here, and he got some very high energy beats on here too as well. Went to one of my favorite joints too, that damn Minnie Riperton sample, dude. That off Complete. That is easily my favorite joint on there. I don't know what it is about that damn track I love so much. It kind of takes me back to Lyrics to Go, how Q-Tip sampled Minnie Riperton as well. Loving Inside You, how he had that vocal, that high pitched singing, that loop, how he looped that, just how Q-Tip did on Lyrics to Go. And when I heard Complete, I was like, oh my god, and I kept repeating that. It took me a minute to get past Complete. I ain't gonna lie, cause that is easily my favorite joint on there. Then it goes to Omar Khaled, which I think last time I checked I think he's a soccer player, international soccer player, but I didn't understand the connection with that. I don't know if he's a musician as well or with that sample of that beat. Dope beat though, very dope beat. I enjoyed that joint. I enjoyed it a lot. Next joint he goes to is, of course, he sampled one of my favorite jazz tunes by Ronnie Law's Tidal Wave. That Tidal Wave has been sampled pretty much a lot in the hip hop and R&B production background. So for him to loop that one, it's cool, man. It's how you can just take a loop, something so simple. I think that's one thing I like about Willie B, man. He can take a simple loop, something very simple, and make it sound so extravagant. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that's to me, that's amazing when a producer can do that. Can take some of the most simplest loops or simplest sequences and just make it sound so like it's so complex. Make a beat sound so complex. That's one thing I like about Willie B. Like on 3D, I had to say this one on Ichiban Sound 3D, that Barry is White joint, how he sampled that. It was so simple, but he made it sound so complex. So I think with that Grime, with that Tidal Wave sample, I thought it was cool how he made that loop sound so simple, but yet so dope at the same time, and I loved it. Then, speaking of, he flipped freaking Patti LaBelle. Someone's gonna love you. Oh my god, I was like, he's really, because if you listen to a lot of Willie B beats, at the very beginning he kind of gives you a taste of what he's sampling. You know, he kind of start off maybe the first like maybe 10 or 15 seconds playing it. So when I was listening to that pad, I'm like, oh my god, he about to do this. Then doom doom doom. I'm like, how you gonna flip this one? And then when the drums come in, doom, I was like, whoa. And I love the percussion on that joint too, man. The percussion on that one kept that joint alive very well, man. So that was I love Patti Bill. At this point, I'm like, man, a lot of the tracks are really, really short. He gets you in, pulls you in for a second, and then takes you to the next track. That's why it's only 14 minutes long out of the 9-track span. Then the next joint, he gives you NY New York Minute, which, you know, if you follow Willie B on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, you know, he has a very huge love for New York City. So I can see why he, you know, wouldn't have a track on here called NY Minute, because, you know, he and New York shows him love, man, which is good. It's glad that a West Coast producer can get a lot of love in New York. And I like that piano loop on there, man. The piano loop was good. Drums wasn't too hard knocking. They were very settling on there, and I think that was perfect. I'm glad you didn't go for the home run drums on that particular sample, on that piano sample. I thought that was very dope. Next one you got is Extra Ballin'. One of my favorite jazz samples on there, man. I love how you had those horns and on that, how you looped the horns on that particular track. And then there's another one. That was another one where it was very settling drums. What else? Very kind of up tempo but laid back at the same time, if that makes sense. You know. Then, like I said, I mentioned before, he has a lot of roller coaster type of beats. New York Minute, Extra Ballin', very, you know, relaxed, laid back. Then he just pop you up out your seat with Sony. Sony, those trumpets, man, that trumpet, everything about that beat, Sony, that was my favorite joint for a second until the second track Complete took over, and that's my favorite joint. But Sony was my favorite joint for a second. I remember when I was listening to that on Instagram, I was like, oh shit, that's my favorite joint right there. The trumpets on there was great. The hi-hats, I think the hi-hats kept you in tune with the beat very well. The hi-hats on that joint, I thought the hi-hats just kind of took it home for me. The drums on there was very great, but the trumpets for me, I was just like, wow, how you take that trumpet loop and then and make it something else. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was crazy on Sony. That should be Sony's theme music. If you could type up Sony.com, that should be their theme music, is that beat right there. Then he finished it out very well with Beautiful. I think Beautiful, I love the break beat. That break beat was very nice, and them violins, man, that violin sampling on there was very dope, man. Some of these samples I didn't know where you were sampling, which is good. I love when I hear stuff and I be like, damn, what is that he's sampling? But then some of them I hear, like Complete, I knew that was a Minnie Riperton joint because I was a fan of Minnie Riperton's music, so I knew that was. And then Tidal Waves, but Beautiful, I think he ended it very, you know, he ended it very well, very smooth, very beautifully. You know what I'm saying? That's the name of the track, Beautiful, and I think he ended it very beautifully. And you know, check out this joint, man. It's free, 9 tracks. Go download this on Ichiban.com. Support Willie B. Support everything he's doing. I'm looking forward to your future production that you got for the TDE family or anybody else in general. I'm pretty sure you're working with some different MCs in New York or Cali. I think he's probably working with Thurs. I heard a joint he did with Thurs he released earlier this year. Other than that, man, yeah, this your boy Beezy. Check it out. Love it. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter. Other than that, man, hope y'all enjoy. Subscribe. Check me out. Peace.